Like, subscribe down below. It's Angel. Yesterday, you got my mom's perspective and her, not perspective, but her life and, her upbringing. And today, I'm going to give you my upbringing. First up, basically, I was living with my grandmother when I was younger with, I guess it was with my mom. But anyway, I was living with my grandma full time until I was like, I guess 4, I want to say. And then my mom met her family and she was excited to meet her family. So, we started being around her birth family. And next thing you know, I got uprooted from my grandma's house to my auntie's house. My auntie was very mean. I ended up going to a school over there by her house where I didn't fit in because I was the lightest person in the school. So they thought that I thought I was better, and they hit me with chairs. They, the one time this girl, I was walking down the hallway, she just punched me in my nose or whatever. Basically just do it because at this age I was like real nice, real sweet, I got gum put in my hair, called all types of white bees and all types of stuff. And then when I would say something back, the teachers would make it my fault and go tell my parents. Then when I was living with my auntie, my mom was basically not really around when I was living with my auntie. She wasn't. So with this, basically, this how I look at it in my vision of my life. I'm living in this house with this stranger because I don't know her. These new people. Being treated like a dog. New school, new area. It was scary. It was uncomfortable. And then my cousins moved in, and their mom practically left them there, you might as well say. So we all was living in this house with this mean lady that we basically looked at as a wicked witch. Being called it's just, you know what I'm saying, being told that we ain't never gonna be nothing, and then having to deal with the regular things that you have to deal with as a child, when you being picked on and whatever other issues because I wasn't good at school. So I was dealing with feeling like I was stupid in the first place. So then, my only escape was going over my grandma's house. I still went over my grandma's house, and that was like the best time in my life. Like going over my grandma's house was like going from hell to heaven. Um, then we would go every summer. My grandma would take me to Alabama. Um, so that was like the hypest thing ever. But in the same hand, I also saw growing up how my sister got treated different than me. And like with my grandma mistreated my sister because she was dark skinned, so she didn't like dark skinned. She from the south back in the older days. She didn't really like dark skinned people, so she was mistreating her, and I used to take up for my sister, and that's when me and my grandma used to bump heads because I was taught to take up for my sister. And then I feel like it was a difference between me and my sister because she was with my mama, I wasn't. So that made a lot of hostility. That throughout the years, like tarnished our relationship, but we good now. So also, I don't really know how to express, like, it just was a lot of abandonment issues. And then I me being molested at a young age, I felt like when I got older or whatever, I felt like, oh well, I ain't here for nothing but to get beat on or abused, or you know what I'm saying, sexually abused or whatever. Like that's all I was made for. And I felt that way for a long time. And you know, and I was confused for a long time because I got sexually molested, abused or whatever you want to call it, by my auntie. So not the auntie I was living with, but another auntie. And so I was confused about my sexuality and everything because of that reason. I just went through a lot of ups and downs of not knowing who I am, what I'm here for. And the only thing I felt solid in growing up is church. Like going to my grandma's house, going to church was my safe haven because I felt important when I was with my grandma. I felt loved when I was with my grandma. I felt loved when I was in church. So I had a totally different experience in church than my mama had. Like I was embraced in church. I was a youth leader. I was in the choir, praise and worship teams, all that stuff. And I used to go, like, this back in the day when I went to East Lake, and East Lake was like East Lake. It was like family. My grandma used to go clean the pastor's house, so we was real close to the pastor when I was growing up. And then, or go cook. I don't forget what she used to do, but anyway, she was on the mother's board, the building board, and all that stuff. So I was in church with the old people, and for choir rehearsal, and for everything. I practically lived in church. But I didn't have a problem with it because that was the only time I felt needed, wanted, loved, stable. And I had a lot of friends in church, but I didn't have friends nowhere else. So now that I'm older, some things happen where I don't feel that way in church. It's weird to me. And that's why, like, my stability and everything, the little stability that I knew is like shaky because, and my faith is shaky because now I don't know where I fit. Because now what? The one place I felt comfortable, I don't feel comfortable no more. And that's hard because I always had a problem fitting in everywhere. My family don't embrace me. I always had a problem fitting in. Every time I turn around, I look at them hanging out with each other. And I'm nowhere to be found. But anyway, it is what it is. But that's the thing. When my mama found her family, I never felt like family. I just felt like I always was treated like standoffish, or I never fit in with them, ever. You know, you always got your couple or whatever that you end up close with, but for the most part, I never fit in. Because in my opinion, I never was supposed to meet them. But when you're a child, you get put in situations because you got to follow whatever your parents do. And unfortunately, that was something that she, needed to do for herself. And it ruined my life, period. Because I wouldn't have went through being abused. I wouldn't have went through being sexually abused. I wouldn't have went through being beat, or most of the stuff I went through if I would have never met them. Because even some situations when I got whoopings and she got carried away, I think that she got that from them. I'm gonna be honest. So it is what it is. And that's all, folks. Peace.